Peace, guys. How's it going? Welcome back to another video. Sorry it's been a couple weeks since my last upload. I've been really busy / distracted by, work and life and stuff. Um, but finally have a moment here to talk to you guys. There was a community post that I had um, uh, there was a community post that I did maybe, I don't know, 5 days ago or maybe a week ago. And in that community post, I wanted to talk about matrix levels, frequency of matter, matrix levels, just kind of go deeper into those kind of things. And try to talk to it in a way where, try to talk to you in a way where I kind of explain at least my own opinion or perspective on the larger reality system around us and the larger matrices around us. This Earth matrix being part of a uh, physical matter matrix, and then all of these other planes, which we call planes or dimensions, all in their own individual matrices. So there's just multiple matrix levels. That's probably a good way to, to try to explain it. But over the decades, years and years through our lifetime, you know, um, there are certain things that spiritual teachers or like physicists say about the nature of reality. Uh, Especially when it comes to like quantum entanglement and resonant frequencies and stuff like that. There are definitely a lot of things I do agree with from the standpoint um, of being an astral projector and having many out of body experiences doing astral projection. I can see some of the connections between science and spirituality. Um, so yeah, so what have physicists and certain spiritual teachers said? What have they been saying about energy and matter and all these types of things? They're basically telling us that in essence, all creation is based on energy and vibration, and I do agree with that absolutely. Um, you know, Basically, it's energies vibrating at certain compound frequencies, or you could just say, frequencies, or at a certain matrix level, which constitutes the universe we perceive with the senses, with the main sensory inputs of the physical body and how our human avatar brain functions and how it takes in all that sensory input and then feeds it to our consciousness, and then our consciousness is you know believing whatever that brain and body is programming the consciousness to see and believe in front of it. That's why when people call this a simulation, some kind of quantum holographic simulation, which is what I've said before, it's more or less just the well, in my opinion, the fact that what we perceive with our consciousness, essentially, in this particular environment, this physical matter matrix level, is what's fed to us from the sensory input of the human brain, the human body. Essentially, I mean, that's a good way of assessing it, because if you sit there and you sit down on your meditation mat or your chair and just relax for a moment, if you start to eliminate all of your five senses one by one, so you're sitting there and you're thinking, okay, eliminate sight, and you just close your eyes or you put a good blindfold on and it's just black, or you turn the lights off, it's black. Eliminate hearing, right? Eliminate touch, feeling, taste, smell. I mean, if you kind of sit there Honestly, if you just sit there and start to meditate on that, and you eliminate your main sensory inputs that communicate to your human brain and body, what are you left with? You're essentially just left with your consciousness and imagination. Um, I mean, basically, this reality, this virtual reality, this, simulation around us essentially is shut off at that point, because your consciousness is not interacting with this particular matrix level at that point. So again, what are you left with? You're left with just your consciousness and your thoughts, your imagination, visualization, stuff like that, right? Now, let's shift more to the higher matrix levels. Let's shift directly into the astral plane structure. Okay, so now energies or matter, essentially, which is in the form of energy, vibrating at other compound frequencies or matrix levels, comprise all these other realities that we cannot perceive with our physical senses. So all these other realities, thousands, millions of all these different, reality constructs in the astral plane structure, which is another level, matrix level, away from this matrix level. All of those other realities are scientific tools that we use, in this physical matter matrix level, and our, sensory input for our body can't detect or perceive any of those things, so that's why, for a lot of people, they just feel like a lot of that stuff isn't real because they can't see it, right? Like, people don't believe something unless they can actually see something. Which isn't always true, because you can always feel something. You can feel energy, not necessarily see the energy, but you can feel it, and that makes it real. But more or less, astral projection or consciousness shifting into these other reality, other matrix levels, essentially different frequencies. And exploring these things and having experience in these things, and actually seeing these things through your energy body, and retaining the memory recall, through your consciousness, and remembering all the experiences. That's the only way to really experience the larger reality system. Of course, that's why I have my channel. I mean, bare bones, spiritual progress, real spiritual progress, it essentially comes from actually experiencing these other frequencies through your consciousness. And that's my opinion. That's my opinion. So, like, the astral plane structure, or what I call the fifth dimension, or you can call it the fifth density if you want to call it that. It involves vibrational frequencies. So this frequency, as I've mentioned in other community posts, other videos, this frequency within itself is kind of like superimposed on matter and energy at a subatomic level. This is what is called or referred to as resonant frequency. So there's many different levels and different frequencies in the fifth dimension, which is the astral plane structure, and in all these different levels, matter and energy, more or less, kind of exist in a natural state. It exists at many different vibrational frequencies. Sorry, there was a mosquito or something trying to get me on my arm there. It's distraction. No, so let me kind of paint a visualization for you. Like earlier in the video, I was talking about how our physical body and our human brain perceive this physical matter, matrix level, right? we were on the same page there. Now, because of that reason, because there's different frequencies, and because matter vibrates at different rates at different matrix levels, because of this, this is why our science can't completely see or detect the life forms, the intelligent beings and life forms that, let's use Jupiter, the planet Jupiter in our solar system as a example of this. So I promise that if you're interested, I will talk more about, in future videos, talk more about actually over the years, astral projecting with the intention to go to the moon, Jupiter, Ceres, which is a minor planet by Mars, etc. There's certain planets and bodies around our solar system that aren't that difficult to reach through astral projection. The sun being easy because it's big, it's not that far, it's far away, but it's huge, right? So you can see it. The moon being a pretty good size, but is pretty close. So on a full moon, especially on a really, like a super full moon, or when the moon's just brighter, there's more light, or it's just closer to Earth, so to speak. I'm not sure if that matters, but I'm just saying there's certain times where, like, the moon is not too hard to reach through astral projection, because you can still find it or see it, navigate to it. Jupiter is a really, really large planet. It's far away, but if you project yourself, if you know where Jupiter is located when you're actually astral projecting, if you know exactly what direction it's in, if you try a few times, you can get there. Because once again, once you are actually free of your human body, I mean, not completely free, unless, I mean, the only way you can be completely free of your human body is after death. But while you're still alive in this body, once you've moved enough distance away from your human body, you can move very fast, and you can, if you know exactly where Jupiter is, you can get to that destination, and then you can see what you see in that different matrix level and frequency of matter, what kind of beings live there. So yeah, so if you want me to do a video more on that, that's great. And I'm kind of digressing here, I'm sorry. But basically, in what I'm trying to say is, the beings that live on Jupiter, for instance, they occupy the same space on Jupiter as we view with, like, our telescopes. Okay, but we can't see them because they're in a different matrix level. They're in a different frequency of matter. So the large cities and the beings that are more about 8-10 feet tall or so, that live in these huge cities on Jupiter, we just don't have the right technology, at least that I'm aware of. Who knows, black operations, stuff like that over the years. Who knows what kind of technology they've made to to pierce into different matrix levels and see different frequencies of matter, and what's going on there. You'd imagine they have something like that by now, but nothing that I'm aware of. And this is the funny part. The funny part is, and I'll just say this, then I'll get back to the the video I'm doing here. But the funny part um, is that from what I gather, these taller beings that live on Jupiter, they can't see physical matter. You know, like their technology and their, you know, their sight and how their, you know, how their reality is. They're not able to see the physical matter matrix level of Earth, for example, in the cities and the beings. They can't see it. The only way that they can see this is if they astrally project from Jupiter um, and actually travel here and then oversee everything from the etheric plane. Because remember, with the etheric plane, you can hear and you can see things in this physical matter matrix level. Okay, you're just, like I said before in videos, you're just like a ghost. Now, but that said, though, the density of the etheric forms, they're not completely invisible. You can barely see them. I mean, if you really train your physical eyes, and you train your intuition to register different energy signatures or interactions with energetic beings that are around your vicinity, you can more or less train yourself to feel any kind of energetic changes within at least a 20 to 30 foot bubble or radius around your human body. So just you know, just know that and just understand that, you know, just the awareness of that helps you become more connected to that. So I'm going to end this video soon here. I just want to say a couple of things here. So to me, this is another way of saying that we vibrate at our own resonant frequency and filter out all of the frequencies that we don't resonate with, or that we don't, or in other words, we don't perceive them. So we don't perceive them because we're not aware of them and we're not focusing on them, you know. And frequency matrix levels or vibrations can be seen as forming a seamless continuum of reality from the worlds of the densest matter up to the highest worlds of pure spirit. Again, so using astral projection and, you know, expansion of awareness, then a person can, you know, more or less adapt their consciousness to utilize, let's say, one of their astral bodies or a particular energy body, so that they can perceive and interact to a certain degree with these other matrix levels that are all connected to us outside of this physical matter matrix level. So again, that's why I do my channel, because I feel like, you know, honestly, the only way to have like real true soul progression while you're in this life, you know, life experience here, in this human life experience, being a human being, being human, is to ponder the things I'm talking about and practice some techniques. Think about this stuff, because I don't see any other way. I don't see any other way to really ultimately grow your own knowledge and experiences, your own power through your own soul slash consciousness, and ultimately, avoid all this reincarnational stuff. And um, it's yeah, and also what it is too is there's just certain people that are just ready for stuff like this, you know. So I don't make these videos thinking that everyone's going to understand what I'm talking about or where I'm coming from. Obviously, I make my videos on my channel, Consciousness Awake, specifically for the people that more or less are interested or resonate with the topics I talk about. So again, thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for supporting the channel. I love you all, sending positive energy to everybody. I appreciate you all. Many more videos to come. And let's do an outro. Let's do this mantra as an outro. Sometimes when I want to astral project, um, especially if I want to just kind of keep myself more awake while my body's sleeping during the evening, during the night, early morning hours, I just repeat this mantra to myself as I fall asleep, and it just goes, my consciousness is awake while my body is asleep. My consciousness is awake while my body is awake. My consciousness is awake while my body is asleep. My consciousness is awake while my body is awake. So, see what I'm doing there? So, I'm uh, training my consciousness to be alert and awake and aware all the time. So, it isn't shut off while my body is shutting off and going to sleep. So, on that, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.